trade wars, tensions between the US and China. Welcome to our English learning story. Today we are going to dive into a real-world economic conflict that shaped global headlines. The trade war between the United States and China. This story will help you to improve your listening skills while understanding how two powerful countries clashed over taxes, trade, and global influence. Get comfortable and let's explore how this modern conflict began, what it means, and where it might be going. The United States and China have the two largest economies in the world. For many years, these countries traded goods on a massive scale. China exported electronics, clothes, machinery, and rare materials to the US. In return, the US sold China agricultural products, technology, and industrial equipment. This relationship wasn't perfect, but it worked until the US decided things needed to change. American leaders began to feel that the system was unfair and hurt American jobs and industries. Then came a significant shift, a new president with a new trade plan. In 2017, US President Donald Trump introduced a trade strategy called America First. The idea was to support American workers by protecting US businesses from the foreign competition. One key tool, tariffs. Tariffs are taxes placed on goods imported from other countries. When the US added tariffs to Chinese products, those goods became more expensive in American stores. The goal was to make US-made products more competitive. For example, instead of buying cheap electronics from China, Americans might buy products made locally. However, trade isn't a one-way street. China decided not to stay silent. China answered back by placing its own tariffs on American goods, especially on things like soybean, pork, and cars. This retaliation increased tensions. It wasn't just disagreement, it became what many called a trade war. Each side raised tariffs again and again. The US discussed tariffs as high as 245% on certain Chinese goods. China also increased its tariffs to over 100% on American products. This back and forth created uncertainty in global markets, affecting companies and consumers around the world. This trade fight wasn't only about prices and products, it also about power and control over critical materials. China produces special elements like gallium and germanium and rare earth metals, which are vital for electronics, electrical vehicles, and even military equipment. At one point, China limited exports of some of these materials to the US. This move caused serious concern, especially in industries that rely on them. Without these materials, making smartphones, computers, and jet engines becomes difficult or even more impossible. The US started to view the trade issue as a national security problem. Government officials asked, what if America couldn't access the material it needed in a crisis? What if military systems couldn't be built because they relied on the parts from China? This led to a plan of reshore manufacturing, bringing factories and supply chains back to the United States. The US also began investigating which industries were too dependent on foreign goods and how to reduce those risks. This was more than economics, it became questions of safety and the independence. This trade conflict didn't just affect the US and China, it had ripple effects around the world. When two major economies fight, the global economy reacts. Prices went up for some products, companies delayed big projects, farmers in the US lost businesses in China. Chinese factories slowed production, investors became nervous. It's like throwing a rock into a lake. The waves spread in all directions. A trade war between two countries can slow down growth in many others. What comes next? That remains unclear. Negotiations have taken place, but deep disagreements remain. The US wants China to change certain trade practices, like how it treats intellectual property and foreign businesses. China says it's protecting its own rights. Some experts say trade wars don't have winners, just damage. Others believe the pressure could lead to better trade deals over time. For now, the world watches and waits. Now, let's have a look at some of the questions from the text. Number one, why did the US place tariffs on Chinese goods? Number two, how did China respond to tariffs? Number three, why are rare earth materials important? Number four, what global effects did the trade war have? Number five, what are possible outcomes of the trade conflict? Number six, what is one language device used in this script? You can have a look at the question answers once you're done. So, what did we learn? Trade between countries is complex. It's not just about goods, it's about jobs, politics, safety, and global power. This story shows how fast relationships can change and how decisions by a few leaders can affect millions of people. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story and want to improve your English while learning about the world, don't forget to check out more stories like this one. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and take your English to the next level. Thank you for watching today. I'll see you soon.